Hello everyone and welcome back to another vid from your boy Jovan. Welcome, welcome. Come on down, come take a seat. Today we're going to be going over another artist, celebrity, actor, and for today's consideration of the tier lists is Idris Elba. Oh yeah, he's a ladies' man, he's a man's man, goddamn. He's also British, and so in saying that, I am Canadian. There's an extremely popular IP, TV show and movie that he's attached to that is very British that I've not seen. So, I apologize for all the Idris heads out there who are like, how could you call yourself an Idris head and not have seen this? I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry! Bruh. I will get to it eventually, like I know it exists, so I'll find some time to wiggle it in. But regardless, I'm gonna be doing a tier list of Idris Elba movies, the ones that I've seen. So hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get right into it.
Tier list!
Okay, here it is, the movies of Idris Elba. He's also been in TV shows, of course. I do think I actually have a video game that he did voice acting for here, but regardless, let's jump into it. Starting things off is actually with the show, The Wire, from 2002 to 2004. I haven't finished it, so no spoilers. I'm on season 3. People say it really starts to ramp up. Season 3, season 4 are some of the best seasons, so the best is yet to come as far as my experience with it goes. But my God, man, he's one of those guys where he's just always been it, you know? Like, just starting off. The Wire, I think, is very good. It's television, so it's kind of hard to rank relating to films. But just the general essence of what The Wire is, I think is good. So I'm gonna put it in A, straight up. Yeah. Moving on from that, we have 28 Weeks Later. Idris, much like in The Wire, plays a bad boy, you know? Not a heartthrob bad boy, even though just looking at him, you can't help yourself, but more his character is naughty. In 28 Weeks Later, he's not in it for the whole film, it's mostly the beginning. He's like the amp up antagonist, and yeah, I think his role was good. However, the film, especially in comparison to the first one, even though the first one is messy as far as filmmaking, it feels like an indie feature, which it probably was, I don't know. But yeah, the sequel seems a lot more high budget. However, I do think it is a step down from the first film. With all of that said, I put 28 Weeks Later in, I think I'm gonna go D, just because of how hard it falls off. Like, the Idris, the beginning, great. Then it falls off, so it's going down to D. Sorry for all the 28 Week Later heads. Moving on from that, we have Rock'n'Rolla. This one is many people's favorite Guy Ritchie film. I'm surprised at how late it came out. It seems like one of those movies that could have come out in like the early 2000s, but it's the late. Pretty sure this came out in 2008. There's famous Idris line in it where he leans into, now I'm forgetting his name, 300 over there and just goes, was it a slow song? That is good stuff. It's, you know, it's all good fun. I think Rock'n'Rolla is great. I'm gonna put it up there with A. So, not my favorite Guy Ritchie. I don't actually know what my favorite Guy Ritchie film is, so we'll see. Maybe I gotta reevaluate myself and find out if Rock'n'Rolla is the top tier. Regardless. Next up, we have Obsessed. A domestic thriller with Beyonce. Huh? Yeah. Super weird. I saw this in theaters. This came out in 2009. I was, what, 15 years old? What was I doing? I don't know. I was having fun, I guess. And I was thoroughly entertained, you know? I don't know what the hell I was watching. Clearly, the demographic of domestic thrillers are people older than 15-year-olds. So maybe some of the subject matter went a bit above my head, but I remember being entertained nonetheless. Obsessed, I think, is like just a popcorn flick. I'm gonna put it in B. I think it was good. Moving on from that, we have 2010's The Losers. This was an ensemble cast kind of film, much like Rock'n'Rolla. It had tons of like A-list celebrities and people kind of before they blew up. I don't know if that's exactly true with Chris Evans. It's at least before his Marvel sort of debut. But yeah, and it's got Idris in it. It's got the dad from Supernatural. That's what my partner likes to say. I think The Losers was entertaining, not especially memorable though. I think it's, yeah, like it's a classic kind of popcorn flick where just tons of action is happening. I'm gonna put it in B. Okay, moving on from that, we have Takers. My goodness, macho macho. This is just a big old macho film, where The Losers has maybe a healthy dose of macho and feminine energy. Takers is just a boys movie. It's a guys kind of film. I watched it with a friend of mine who loves it, and so for that reason it has this enamorability to it, but otherwise it might be like overly macho. I don't know. I'm gonna put Takers in C for cool. Okay, moving on from that, we have the first Thor film. I'm forgetting the name of the character that Idris plays. It's like Rolandal, or it's something like that. But he's like the key master, the gatekeeper, something like that. He has the sword which activates the portals. And so he's like the ultimate guardian of Asgard, right? He's the guy at the front gate, making sure nothing bad comes in. I thought the first Thor was fine, albeit a little forgettable. I'm gonna put Thor in C. Moving on from that, we have 2011's Modern Warfare 3. I have to say that now because Call of Duty has made so many games and they're so creatively bankrupt that they have since inverted back into just Modern Warfares, but they're just naming it the same. So this is the first Modern Warfare 3. Obviously I didn't know Idris Elba was in it when I played it. I have not since gone back to play Modern Warfare 3. I only played it when it first came out, so it's been 13 years now. But yeah, so I don't know, like, I guess I'm rating Call of Duty here, not Idris. How was Call of Duty 3? I thought it was fine. I don't think it was as good as the second one. I'm gonna put it in C. Okay, next up we have 2012's Prometheus, and I feel like Idris was done dirty in this film, like from a character perspective. He's the pilot, and he's like easy going. He's kind of, you know, he's a seductress, like he's able to get the CEO lady to sleep with him, and then he just kamikazes. I feel like there wasn't a big lead up, like there wasn't enough of a character arc for him. It seemed kind of out of nowhere. Like he says one line to the main character saying like, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure Earth doesn't get hurt. But like there's just not enough lines. It's not his fault, it's the script's fault. So Prometheus, the best thing it had going for it was the android dynamic with the crew, but otherwise the film is full of faults, and maybe potentially the biggest one is how they treated Idris's character. So Prometheus, you know, it's a love-hate relationship. In this very moment, because of what they did to Idris, I might just put it in D. So that's not necessarily a standing of the film, because it has its good parts, but to what they did to Idris, bad. Okay, moving on from that, we have Pacific Rim. It's just good fun. You know, I wasn't a child when it came out, so maybe I don't revere it as much as other people would. I'm gonna put it in B. I think it was good fun across the board. Next up, we have Thor: The Dark World. That's Thor 2. This one's an easy D. I'm sorry, just is. Moving on from that, we have 2014's No Good Deed, which I didn't realize was actually a remake until I started looking it up for this tier list. So I haven't seen the original, but here is the modern No Good Deed, which is now 10 years old. That's crazy, man. Anyway, yeah, it's a thriller. Again, can't remember exactly all that much about it. I'm gonna put No Good Deed in C, because like, yeah, I don't think it was bad. Now we have Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. Unfortunately, I have not seen this one in a minute, so I can't specifically remember what Idris's character does in it, but he is credited for being in this film, so he must have a scene somewhere among the hundreds of ensemble casting characters everywhere. Age of Ultron is a D for me. I'm sorry. I thought the movie was kind of a mess. Okay, moving on from that, we have Bastille Day, which I think has something to do with the French. Again, it's been a minute since I've seen this film, but I remember it being entertaining. trying to think if it was like goofy entertaining or like genuinely good entertaining. For Idris, I give this one a B. Yeah. Now we have Finding Dory, which came out shortly before Ellen DeGeneres' cancellation. Again, it says that Idris is a voice of someone in this. I apologize that I do not remember who. Is he the octopus? Does he play a bird of some kind or a different type of fish? I'm not sure, but the film in and of itself, obviously not as good as the original, but still fine. I would give it a B. Yeah, popcorn. Next up, we have 2016's The Jungle Book, and Idris Elba voices the antagonist, the tiger with the scratched out eye. Ooh, scary. Yeah, the funny thing with Idris is that in all interviews with him and just like how he seems to interact with other people just in circuits and wherever, like outside of film, seems like the best kind of guy, you know? He's like a guy's guy, but in a good way, not in a red-pilled way. He seems like a hard worker. He seems like just a good guy all in all. So maybe there's something to that, right? The person who plays the bad guys is really a good guy. I don't know. But yeah, this is just another one. The Jungle Book, this was Jon Favreau doing good. And then he did bad with The Lion King. So this one is actually good in my opinion. Is it as high as A? Because I genuinely think it's more entertaining than the 1960s one. So apologies to those who like the musical. But I'm gonna straight up put it in A. That might be too much hype talking, I'm not sure. But when I try to think of faults that this movie had, I honestly can't think of any. I think it's an extremely polished film. But okay, moving on from that, we have Every Furry's Dream, Zootopia. Disney Plus rebranded it on their streaming service to Zootropolis because Topia sounds like Utopia, and then I guess certain countries had a problem with that politically. So they had to rename it, but the little poster I got here says Zootopia, so suck it. Zootopia, I thought was a good film. Yeah, again, I have no faults with it. When I try and think, I'm like, is there anything particularly wrong with the movie? I don't think so. So I think this is one of the better animated films of the Disney, Pixar, whatever bunch. So I'm gonna put it up there in A as well, okay? But not for furry reasons, okay? Just to make that clear. Okay, moving on from that, we have Star Trek 3 in like the modern Star Trek verse, Star Trek Beyond. This one was not directed by J.J. Abrams like the other two. Idris Elba, once again, playing a bad guy. He is an alien, but actually he started as a human and then like mutated into an alien. Spoilers for the film, but still super fun, worth a watch. I didn't grow up with Star Trek. I didn't watch the episodes of the original, so this one is supposed to like give that vibe, that feeling of like it's just another episode, but it's like this big budget movie kind of a thing. So I appreciate that that exists because now I'll just watch that rather than the show. Sorry, Star Trek, but I thought it was very entertaining. I'm gonna put Star Trek Beyond in B. Yes. Now moving on from that, we have Thor Ragnarok, and it was very good. Simple as that, enough said, you know. I'm gonna put Thor Ragnarok in A. I think it was very entertaining. Has it aged? I don't know, because I actually haven't seen it since I originally watched it. But my initial take is A. Next up, we have Molly's Game, where Idris is playing a lawyer. I can't specifically remember how this movie ends. I just remember the build-up, where it's like the whole movie is a prelude, like she's like telling the story, kind of leading into like current day kind of a thing. And it's very entertaining. If anything, I should probably watch it again. I watched it in theaters and thought it was good. I'm gonna put Molly's Game, again, because of the memory thing, should I be putting it in A? I'm gonna put it in B for now. Okay, a high B, but a B nonetheless. Next up, we have The Dark Tower. Man, so yeah, unfortunately, like, I have to put The Dark Tower in D, but it's not because of Idris. Idris is the only reason I even saw this movie. I hadn't heard of The Dark Tower, but as soon as the first trailer for this dropped, where it was like, oh, Matthew McConaughey's the guy walking the desert, and Idris is like the gunslinger who's chasing him or whatever, I was like, I gotta know more about this. And so I actually read the first book in anticipation for this film, and then watched this and was like, there's, what? I'm like, so it has nothing to do with the book? Like they just took the title of it and did their own story? But I guess the movie like crunched a bunch of books together and it was a monstrosity. It was a failed attempt, but it had everything else going for it. I think the casting was perfect. I feel like the source material everyone says is good. It becomes esoteric at times, which I kind of like that stuff. So that was a missed opportunity. Shame on the writers for this one. Or producers. I mean, they could have pushed the writers to make a bad script. I don't know. But either way, moving on, we have Avengers Infinity War. Idris is only right in the beginning of this. And then, I'm pretty sure, spoilers. It's very tragic, actually. The beginning of Infinity War is one of the best sequences throughout like all of the Marvel movies. It's grade A stuff. Infinity War, it requires the context of the previous films, but it is, in my opinion, like potentially the best Marvel movie of all time. And for that reason, should I go so hardcore as to say it's S tier? And with Idris, with the tragedy of Idris's character, I'm gonna say, yeah, I think so, yeah. I don't know, this is the first I think I've had that take on it, but there you go. Tier lists are different than like 10-star ratings, you guys understand, right? So I put it in S, yeah. Again, the hype might be taking over here, but I don't care. All right, moving on, we have Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, which is a spin-off of like the mainline Fast and Furious movies. And once again, Idris Elba is the bad guy. He's a bad boy. Is this movie any good though? It's entertaining, but it's also kind of schlocky. I'm gonna put Hobbs and Shaw in C. Okay, stop all your booing right now. Stop. It's still entertaining. It's just schlock. Like, you guys must understand that it is schlock. It's not polished work. It's not like a compelling narrative. It's purely like, let's just create action sequences. It's that kind of a movie, right? You have a lovely babushka, ma'am. I remember that line from The Rock. Sitting next to some lady in an airplane. I don't know why that line stuck with me, but yeah. Okay, now we're fast forwarding quite a bit, 2-3 years, to The Suicide Squad, where it's an ensemble cast, but Idris Elba is like kind of the main character. Like, he's kind of the focus point. There's a few focus point characters, I guess, but yeah, he's one of the main ones. He originally was not going to be in this movie. I forget what exactly happened with the script rewrites, but they like couldn't get Will Smith's character from the 2016 Suicide Squad, and so instead of just recasting Will Smith as Idris Elba, they took an already existing character that's extremely similar to Will Smith's character, Deadeye or whatever his name was, and yeah, so I think that was the best way that they could have done that. Once there's like casting or scheduling issues or script issues, I'm not sure what it was, but since they couldn't get Will Smith back, they did a great job with Idris. They did him right. Yeah, they did him clean. I don't know if that's like the opposite of doing someone dirty, but they did him clean. It's very entertaining. It's inappropriate, but entertaining. I give it an A. Yes. It's very white also. There's like a lot of white fog in this movie too. But okay, moving on from that, we have Beast. And Beast is very good. It's very simple. It's just a survival movie. And they toy with the whole like animal and people. You know, it's like, hey, listen. Sure, the animal is your adversary in that it's there's like a rabid lion that's trying to kill you. But also there's the people who turned the animal bad, who were bad guys. So there's a lot for Idris to work with here. And he's trying to keep his kids safe, so it's a whole adventure. I thought it was good. It was perfectly serviceable. I give Beast a B. B for Beast. Next, moving on from that, this is a weird one. 3,000 Years of Longing. Yeah, my partner had no interest in seeing this whatsoever. I thought it was good. Its ending was a little flat, but everything else was good. It was an intriguing film directed by the Mad Max guy. Apologies for not clicking on his name at this moment, but yeah, this is the first thing that he made, I think, since 2015's Mad Max. So that's quite a long time to be waiting. And now he's coming out with a 2015's Mad Max prequel, Furiosa. So excited to see that. But regardless, Idris did a great job in 3,000 Years. Its story was intriguing. I'm gonna give 3,000 a B. Yes. Now, moving on from that, we have Thor: Love and Thunder, which the fact that he's credited, I know that like someone else is taking over his powers, but maybe there's a flashback, I don't remember. This one's a mess of a movie. I think it's an easy D. Thor really just can't find his footing. It's unfortunate, but yeah. Next up, we have Sonic 2, where Idris is voicing the warrior echidna, Knuckles. Hell yeah. I didn't grow up with Sonic. Well, I kind of did. The Adventure Battle 2 on the GameCube. I played that and loved that. It had Knuckles in it. He was a scavenger hunting for gems. But yeah, so it's like, I don't know the full story of Knuckles, but I think Idris did a great job with this. He played the straight character very well, and it was a lot of fun. Again, this is it. I don't have like specific nostalgia for the Sonic franchise, but I guess I was just surprised by how not bad the first movie was, that now I'm just enjoying this series. There's weirdly a TV show, like just about Knuckles, that's gonna be coming out soon, so I'll be sure to watch that, and then the whole thing is voiced by Idris Elba as Knuckles. It's entertaining. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Sonic 2 might even go up in A. Yeah, I got a lot of A's, and a lot of them are animated. It's weird. But okay, next up we have Cyberpunk's first DLC, maybe their only, I don't know, but Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. And with this, they fully mocapped Idris as Idris. He's not playing like an alien or Knuckles or anything. It's just Idris as Idris, but he's all CGI'd out. And his character is very good. He's an FIA agent, which is like the future version of a CIA, in the NUSA, which is just new United States of America. It's a whole thing. If you haven't played Cyberpunk, play the whole game first and then play this DLC, because yeah, just the way that people speak and stuff, it takes a minute to get into, but it was very good. I literally just beat this yesterday, like at the time of me recording this, so it's fresh in my mind, you know? Idris is right there. And surprisingly, in the end, the whole thing is that you don't know who to trust. I shouldn't say, I almost just spoiled it, but just, yeah, Idris did a good job with this. I'm gonna give Cyberpunk's DLC story an A. Yes. Next, last, is Extraction 2. It's really a cameo. Idris is not in this all that much, but Extraction 2, in my opinion, is leagues above Extraction 1. I thought Extraction 1 was subpar. I would have given it a C. Extraction 2, it has infuriating points like that boy character, but all in all, the action was terrific, and for that reason, the second one gets a leg up in B. That's right. But okay, so there you guys go. That is the Idris Elba tier list, and I understand Luther isn't there, okay? My apologies, I know some people might say this whole list is illegitimate now, because how can you make this list without Luther? I apologize. I will watch that show / movie, the whole shebang, and I'll get back to you guys with a follow-up on Idris, okay? But regardless, here are the films that I have seen. Have you guys seen all these films from Idris? Do you want to? Which ones have you seen? Which ones haven't you seen? Do you agree with my take? If not, why not? Let me know down below. But either way, thanks guys for checking this one out. And until next time, ciao for now. Peace.
Hi, John Zena here. Thank you for watching thejoevandotcom. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you do, all your dreams will come true. I like ice cream. All hail Canada. Bye bye.